I'm Felina.
And I'm Summer.
And you are listening to Broken Broken.
Because we're both.
The podcast about living your best life by getting real.
Hey, broken people. We're back. This is Summer.
And this is Felina.
Felina's got a story to tell us.
Yeah, well, before we've got two other lovely ladies with us as well. We're gonna have a chat about being women in our 30s trying to date online. We're all women of color as well, so our experience might be a little different. But before we start talking about that, I wanted to tell a story to you ladies about my psychotic ex-boyfriend, who I have no problem calling out by name publicly. His name is Ryan Jordan.
Hi, Ryan.
Hi, yeah, he's a licensed Oklahoma attorney. Probably shouldn't be. So, just to give a little bit of a backdrop, we dated for 2 years. We broke up once for about 3 weeks, but ended up getting back together. The last year that we dated, he lived in Colorado. Mm-hmm. He decided he needed to move after he got fired from the job that we both worked at. So, and we got back together about 2 or 3 months before he started, before he moved. And for a year, I was going up there once a month, or he was coming here, and my daughter and I were going to move there. I got my bar license from I'm an attorney. I got my license to practice law in Colorado. I paid $2,000 for that shit.
Wow.
Him and I went house shopping. I spent time with his family. We talked about how many kids we were going to have and getting married and what kind of job we wanted to get and all the things.
I'm scared.
All the things. Like, this was it. He was the love of my life, and he was, he claims to be Buddhist. He goes to, he meditates all the time. Like 4 hours spans of meditation. Like, he can't do anything halfway. He has to do it extreme. The man is fucking crazy. He's broken. There's something broken in his brain. He's very much broken. Very much. So anyway, during the 3 week span that we broke up the first time, which is about 8-9 months into our relationship, he met a girl at a bar in Oklahoma City, the Lost Highway, and I will not say the ladies' names involved in all this because I feel bad for them. But she and him supposedly were just friends, and that lasted for 2 weeks or whatever. Then we ended up getting back together, and I found out about her, and he had all the excuses, and I believed him, and he wooed me back in, and we got back together, and we were more in love than we'd ever been before. And this was March, April of 2017, for 2-3 months before he moved in May. So throughout our relationship, he was abusive, emotionally abusive. He's very much a sociopath. He would win you over, and then he isolated me from friends who he thought would see through him. Mm-hmm. And if you want to really hear the whole thing, there's another podcast, my initial podcast, where I really go in depth about all of the crazy shit he did. Aside from what I'm about to tell you. Right. Because he did end up hitting me one time, and so that was it. And he would lie, because the way that he hit me it was after having rough sex, and he made it seem like it was part of it. But it wasn't. And it took me a while to even recognize that had happened to me. But he was verbally abusive. He would blame everything on me. Everything was my fault. It didn't matter what it was. And I was always paranoid. And he was gaslighting me. Right. I mean, I now know that I pinpointed almost every single thing that I said and I was paranoid about, that I brought to his attention. I was right about all of it. Mm-hmm. And I found out last night, his ex before me just married a lovely lady last Saturday, and they've become my friends, and she kind of helped me through the breakup and has played drums with my band once before, and she's awesome. And so we've become friends. She came out for a birthday drink last night. This is my birthday week. And Monday, Ryan sent me an email, and I haven't heard from him in 6 months.
Of course he did.
He sent me an email on Monday praising me. Oh, you're such a good person. I just want to tell you happy birthday and send some love and light your way. And just blessings. Yeah, blessings. Yeah, fuck off.
Yes.
Anyway, it derailed me a little bit, because this man really had a lot of control over me and caused me so much anxiety. And so, it did derail me. On my birthday, I was completely distracted, and I was worried he's going to show up. I didn't know what the fuck this guy is capable of. So we go out and have drinks last night and hang out with his other ex-girlfriend, and who's my buddy now, and it was great. We caught up and we bashed him, and that was wonderful.
That's fun, right?
Yeah, very cathartic. And as soon as she left, another woman came and sat by me in the booth I was sitting in, And she had seen me perform like a week or so ago and decided that she liked me. And I knew who she was because throughout my relationship with Ryan, particularly on social media, he was very secretive. He wouldn't post that we were together publicly.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, and she was always liking everything he posted and posting comments. And she didn't really seem like perhaps she was his type. So I kind of just thought, maybe she's got a crush on him or whatever. Didn't seem like he would have ever gone for her, honestly. And she proceeds to tell me last night, she's like, well, I heard you sing the other night, and I think you're a nice person, and I just wanted to come and talk to you. Uh-oh. She's like, I know Ryan. I was like, yeah, I know Ryan. I know you know Ryan. I know who you are. I mean, I know that
you know him.
Yeah, I know you know him, right? Yeah. Well, she proceeds to tell me that during the March, April, right after we got back together, more in love than ever.
Of course.
She was staying at his house. Pretty much, she's like, 2-3 nights a week. I was staying there 2-3 nights a week.
Oh my God.
So every night
I didn't. On rotation.
So when I didn't have my daughter, I was up there. I mean, I practically lived there. Like all I had things there, and I would come back, and my things would be where I left them. My jewelry on his dresser, my clothes, my underwear on the floor. And she said the same thing. She said, yeah, I would come back. My things would still be where they were. He's
good. Psycho.
This man was methodically memorizing where we put our things, hiding them out of drawer of shit there, hiding them in where, God knows where, setting it back up for, depending on whichever one of us was coming over, and then put it back.
That's so much work. Like, why don't you?
That's what Prathiva kept saying. I know.
It's more work than any man I know.
I know,
has ever
right?
done for dating.
That's what you're paying your attention to detail to.
Right?
Imagine what you could use those skills for.
It gets worse. I mean, during April, it's the anniversary of my mom passing. He came to this house. We walked to my mom's grave. He cried with me. He held me. Wow. He did. I mean, he loved me so much. I love you so much. Mm-hmm. And all the while, he was seeing this girl too. And she told me that whenever he moved to Colorado, she was smart. Between the two of us, I'm apparently the dumbass.
It happens.
She's like, no, I'm not going to do a long distance relationship. And so she broke up with him, and he cried. And then he told her
Which they do, because it's manipulative.
Yeah, and then he told her that he was going to take back his ex. But we'd already been together for 2 fucking months.
He was probably been telling her you were.
We
right?
had already been back together for 2 months. I didn't know she existed. Wow. No clue.
Wow.
No clue.
Wow.
That's a surprise.
Yeah. Oh, and so she knows. She was like, oh yeah, well, I know his brother and his niece. And
so they all knew?
So they all knew. His family's fucking complicit in this shit, and I am livid about that part. Like, he comes from a quote-unquote good family. His brother's an orthopedic surgeon. His mom and dad are married, good Christian people up in fucking northern Illinois.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, are they really?
And she tells me that, oh yeah, we would FaceTime with his brother and his niece and his sister-in-law. And I'm like, really? Because so did I. Yeah.
Even get the kids involved? What the hell kind of family?
I mean, she was a baby, but still. His brother and his sister-in-law fucking knew that, because he was doing the same thing with me.
Oh,
that's disgusting.
Yeah.
I have 4 brothers. There's no way I would ever be a part of that. Like,
Unless they think that both of the women knew.
Right.
I mean, he might have been convincing them that it was a poly situation.
I don't think so.
No?
No, I'm certain. Because, A, that's not something they would even accept on its own. But, no, I mean, he would talk like, oh, I'm going to bring Felina to Thanksgiving. I'm going to do this. Like, we were in this, and we were, like, telling his family. I was like, I'm getting my Colorado bar license, and we're moving in September.
And that's a big deal, getting your
bar
license in a different state.
Uprooting your whole life.
Uprooting my entire fucking life and my child. I mean, he doesn't even have his license in Colorado, stupid fucking loser. Anyway. Now I got mine. I'll find something to do with it. But yeah, like, she tells me all this last night. I was completely fucking floored. I mean,
wow.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what was great is that I finally figured out how to respond to his email. When Ray had been, his other ex, who is my friend, had been there before, I was just angry by the fact that he had emailed me, period.
Right.
Like, I was already mad. And I had found out he was in town also. I left that out. Yeah, he was in town. And so I was just waiting for the motherfucker to
just
show up, to create an instance where we can communicate. You know, he's just a fucking master manipulator.
Right.
So I was like traveling heavy with my crew, like wherever I went.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And if he was going to walk into Lost Highway, which is like my favorite bar, but happened to be the bar that we were always at, it's his favorite bar too. It's my fucking bar now.
Right.
I live here. And I was going to be goddamned if I wasn't going to go to my bar on my birthday and let him run me off, just knowing he was in town. Fuck that.
Right.
So I grabbed his other ex-girlfriend and we walked in there together.
Good for you. I saw the pictures.
Yeah.
Nice move.
Yeah. So the first response I sent to his email was a picture of me with Rachel and her new wife.
Oh, I love it.
Sent a picture of the three of us, just responded to his happy birthday email and just said, birthday drinks with the newlyweds.
I'm here for all of this shade.
Nice.
And he hates the fact that his ex left him for a woman.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because you're a
'cause
trash
his ego
dude.
is tiny little ego go along with his tiny
Priya's
little
gonna
ball.
get thrown in Facebook jail. No trash again.
But then, and unfortunately, she had left before we found out we had another member of our coven because we were just
right.
forming.
So
a
have you
coven.
told her?
Oh yes, no,
Oh,
we
good.
communicated today. But yeah, I mean, we're gathering the women. I mean,
I was gonna say
we're waiting for the girl that he's dating right now to figure it out. And
I'm
we
like,
will...
are you sure that it was just the two of you? Are there more?
No,
there's probably
well,
more.
we just found her.
Yeah.
We know this other girl, Cassie. If you're listening, I hold no ill will. Come find us.
Get out while you can.
Get out while you can, for one.
Run!
Run!
We will help you escape.
And two, if you're not ready, and when you are, I will be here with open arms. Because it pisses me off when women like butt heads over that kind
Fight
of shit.
over
Like,
it.
yeah,
Right.
like he's a objective piece of garbage. And so this girl tells me all this, and I mean, I felt bad for her. But I mean, I started crying. Like, I lost my shit last night. I was like, oh, okay. So I was really, really, really manipulated.
Yeah,
So, but before
that
that,
sucks.
I also took a picture of her and I cheek to cheek smiling and sent that to him.
Good.
Also, just
Oh,
said,
good.
one more, you're a piece of shit.
Good. I love it.
And my bandmate, one of my bandmates, has not taken him off of her Facebook friends just in case, you know, he decides to show up or whatever. She knows we've got warning. His dumbass. I mean, he claims to be a smart guy. He's clearly fucking stupid because he doesn't know how to adjust his Facebook settings. She was so mad. She posted on his Facebook page publicly last night. It was there for a while because it got a few likes. She's like, wow, you are a piece of shit. Fuck you. So, for all to see.
Good for her.
And the other girl that found, she was also friends with him, so she liked it. All my bandmates liked it. A few people I didn't know liked it.
Girl, you should have called me. I would have gone on there and liked it.
You should have checked out who else liked it. Find out
Well,
what they
he
know.
did delete it, but he didn't defriend her, so she posted it again.
Of course she did.
Like,
That's amazing.
I mean, but yeah, so it's been a little unnerving.
Yes.
I am extremely fucking angry. I want his karma to come fast and swift. It will. I know it will. But he deserves every fucking bit of it. And I have never in my life even heard of someone who actually existed in real life. I mean, this is like shit you see on TV, you know?
Oh man, I recently got divorced last year and had a very similar.
Can you tell us who you are? I don't think we introduced you earlier.
I'm Kelli Brooke Haney. I'm a longtime friend of Felina's. I'm Native American and recently single. As of this past year, I was married for 11 years. Have a son together, had the big, $500,000 house and, all the stuff, all the nice things and the perfect looking life. And then I found out that my husband was telling people that we were getting in the middle of a divorce and he quit wearing his ring and he wasn't coming home until 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And I was with my son all the time. And I caught him in our driveway one night at 1:30 in the morning. He was on the phone. And I walk out there and he swears he was on the phone with his dad. And I stood there and I said, no, you're not. Don't tell me the truth. I'm not stupid. Yeah, at 1:30 in the morning. And then he had been communicating with a woman that his friends are friends with. Her husband had passed away, which was my husband's friend. I went to the funeral. Yeah,
Oh,
his
wow.
wedding. Yeah. And anyway, they're still together, and I'm kind of the same way. I'm like, he's a good dad. He can be such a great friend, and I'm not mad at him anymore. Like, it is what it is. So I've seen that level of manipulation and lying and just all these terrible things. People get caught up in this kind of stuff, and then they just keep putting lie after lie, like on top.
They
and
can't
on top,
unravel
on top.
it.
Yeah. To
So
the point
did
where
she ever find out that you guys were actually together? Because I'm sure he was telling
I
her
mean,
that you
I
weren't.
told her.
Oh, okay.
But she's never wanted to like speak with me. But I did text her and I told
Really?
her, you know, we were still kind of on and off, like right up until the night before we were getting divorced in March. And then I found out that they were like seeing each other, and I told her, and my ex immediately calls me on the phone, and he's like, how dare you try to speak to her, blah blah blah. And I was like, you were just at my house last night.
Right.
Like, you call me all the time, like wanting me back and saying like, let's not do this, let's not go through this, you know. And of course, you know, I had a lot of feelings about it, because I mean, you know, he was my person
Right.
Yeah.
for a long time. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I mean, he's the father of my son. I've always been dedicated to being a good wife and mother, and so of course I have like attachments there.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
So I'm like, why are you making me feel crazy about this? Like, I'm
That's that
like a
gaslighting
psycho.
thing,
Like
too.
I'm a psycho
Yeah.
ex, you know. And I'm like, I'm not mad at her about any of this stuff. You know, I mean, I also realize that's a point in her life that is, everything is kind of unclear too, you know, and I realize she's probably going through a bunch of emotional stuff as well, you know, and it's easy when you have that and you don't have your person, how easy it is to like want that attention.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, and so I don't blame her for that.
Yeah.
But I also, I mean, we weren't divorced, we were married. He lived at home, like,
Yeah.
you know.
How dare you
I mean,
interfere with my other relationship wife? Like, what?
I don't know. You
It's
know,
amazing how many married men that tell their girlfriends, we're still in the same house because we're trying to make the divorce
but then
transition
but that's not
easier
true.
on the child. It's not true.
No.
And every time a girl tells me that, I'm like, he's lying.
Yeah.
I promise he's lying.
He is fucking lying.
Oh my God.
We also have Priya, if you
Yes.
remember her from
Tell-
episode 2.
Tell
What
us-
do you have to
Tell us why you're
us,
single.
Priya?
Your single story.
Oh man. So
I just want to point out that Priya gets put in Facebook jail for saying men are trash on Facebook.
quite
love it.
often.
What?
And every time I do it, the longer the jail period gets.
Eventually,
so.
they're going to delete her account.
Yeah,
How do you
even-
get put in Facebook jail for saying men are
Because
trash?
men are trash is a banned
At
phrase
first,
on Facebook now.
I thought it was somebody reporting my post, which may have been the case the first
I
time.
think it was the first time.
Right.
I
But
think
now they have
a bot.
algorithms
Yeah.
that pick up. So like when you type it now, I have to type it like M3 and you know, like
I kind of want to try it. See if I get banned.
You should try it
I just
because
want
I
to see
swear.
what happens.
Oh my gosh. So like I don't really date right now. I go through. I'm a voyeur, if you will.
Uh-huh.
I check out the market, but I don't
Same.
participate.
Uh-huh.
And there are like very crazy reasons for that. I've been stood up multiple times. I've been told I'm too intimidating. I've been told
Had that.
I've been fetishized.
yeah.
Yes, we gotta talk about
Yeah,
the
we'll have to
fetishization.
talk
I've been
about that.
tokenized also. You know, I
What do you
love being with Indian women.
Yes, that.
Something tells me that you will never be with an Indian woman with
Please
that.
don't.
Yeah, please don't. Just stop. And one thing that I came across recently was this woman who said the only thing men bring to the table is the audacity. And it's so true. I'm like, it's the stupidity, everything that goes along with it. I live vicariously through my girlfriends right now, and I'm like, every time I tell them, I'm like, sorry, but your man is like trash. Like I hate to be that bitch, and you can call me a bitter bitch. I'm okay with that. But your man is trash.
Yeah, right.
God, I wish I would have had you around a year ago. I would have listened. I was already on the verge. I was like,
Oh, I will be that friend. I'll be like, I don't like him. Like, and I can tell
I'm
you
the
he's
same
trash.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Where
written
were
all
you
over
guys?
my face. I can't hide
Where
that
were
shit.
you?
I
I was
know.
like,
Did
MIA.
you really believe him?
I did disappear. He
I get it.
isolated me.
Yeah.
So
I
I
get it. It can be.
really cut out any friend that he thought would see through
That's
me.
what they do. Yeah.
He cut them out, told me that they said things about me, and
Oh,
convinced
geez.
like I went
That's low.
over a year without talking to two of my best friends from law school
Aw.
because of him. Yeah.
It's so awful.
That's so
Yeah, it was
terrible.
bad.
I
Sophia
hate
told me she
men.
never liked him. After my daughter, I
I'm
was
like
like,
hypersensitive about that shit. Like, and it's not just with men. Like, it's other people in general. Like, if I get a bad vibe from you, I don't like you.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to entertain interacting with you. I'm not going to waste my time, my space, or my energy on dealing with your crazy ass because I've got better
I
things
feel
to
like,
do.
you know, intuition is a big thing. Like, you know, Felina, you said earlier,
I
you had
know.
all of these feelings,
I
but
know.
you looked past it because of the manipulation and everything. But it's like you already knew, but
I
you
knew.
didn't
Yes,
want to see
but you
it.
ignore it.
And, you know, I was the same way, like, at the end of my marriage. Like, I knew, but I,
choose to
Yeah.
believe the
Sure.
lie that they present you
Yeah.
because you want to.
yeah. And now I'm like, if I have any intuition,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I just trust it because
changes you.
It
Yes.
is seriously never failed me ever.
Yeah. Right.
Like if I
Yeah.
feel a way about a situation, a person, a group of people, something like that,
Right.
it is always spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I love people. I'm a people person.
Yeah.
I think I learned from my last relationship, which was a 4-year poly relationship. I was second wife to a Comanche man. I said what I learned from that was people don't want the truth. They want you to convince them that what they want to be real is real. 'Cause he wanted me to lie to him all the time, and he would start a fight until I lied to him and convinced him
Right.
that what he wanted the
Oh,
truth to be
that's
was.
not
So I just
healthy.
got to
Right.
react to him. Well, I wasn't living with him, so it wasn't my problem.
Sure.
I had to deal with him a couple times a month. What she's dealing with, I don't know. Not my problem.
Oh man.
And like, I just hate that, like, you know, like, men love it when they see women fighting over their trash asses. And I'm like,
I will not.
I
ever
I
do
will
that.
not. I will
Never.
never.
I won't fight over a man, and I think that
Mm-mm.
bothered him a lot too when we were together, because she would get jealous of me, but I wouldn't get jealous or fight over him. I'm like, okay, go. Like, I don't care. I'm not fighting over you. I'm not gonna beg you to stay.
Right.
You know. And he would get his feelings hurt and have a tantrum. I'm like, okay. You know, and then I would just stop answering his text messages.
Oh man, if you stop answering a man's text messages,
They
if they
lose their
like
mind,
once
don't
they
they?
start texting you
Right.
because you quit texting them,
Yes.
they don't like it.
No, they don't. You wake up to 48
Yeah.
messages.
Right.
And then I'll still ignore it.
I will too.
Yeah.
I'm like, I
I
just turn the sound off, and then the next morning, oh, 50 notifications. And then I don't answer either.
And like, you are supposed to be a grown ass man. If you
Yes.
cannot handle yourself appropriately, then you need to step the fuck aside.
And then after a few weeks, when they want to see you again, they'll text again and be nice.
I'm sorry. I didn't know what I did wrong.
No, I don't accept that. I'm like, don't apologize, or you wouldn't act like an idiot. So
Right.
don't lie to me. I mean, let's
Yeah.
just all acknowledge that you're acting like a dick,
Did
and
they
it is
do
what it
anything
is.
other than lie? I mean,
I have
Don't
no
they
evidence
just-
that they do.
I don't know if they do anything else other than just lie.
Well,
I hope that there are men out there that don't. And I mean, you know, I have
And I
really
think
good
it
friends
varies.
who are
Good
men.
guys. Yeah, I've got
They're
great guy friends too,
I mean,
yeah.
Dave, you know.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's been my
Yeah.
best friend since I was like,
My
I mean, decades.
yeah, my guitarist is
You
like
know?
the biggest hardcore feminist
Yeah.
I know. Like he's a great dude.
I'm like,
yeah.
but see, I don't date people like that.
Yeah.
I choose to date people who are completely wrong for me, or you know.
Or lie. They're
Yeah,
liars.
like
I
they're
don't,
liars.
I don't
Yeah.
know what it is. I keep doing the same damn thing.
I say apparently I have a type and it's broken, hopelessly broken men. I just collect them, and some of them don't ever even go away, even when I'm not dating them anymore. They just stay in my life forever.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah,
I
right.
do. I have several friends
I do too.
who I
Yeah.
started dating or were friends, you know,
Oh, yeah,
or were
sure.
Right.
hooking up with or whatever, and they're still around and
Oh,
they are still
same.
broken.
Yeah.
They're still a mess, and I'm just like, am I collecting them like they're all my children who are never gonna go away?
I know.
What the
I'm
hell
the
did I
same
do?
way. You know.
Yeah, I've got a couple of those as well. They're just
How do I fix that part of me? Because I am like
well, I don't want to.
beyond my quota.
I
here.
mean, I don't date them anymore. You know, they're just kind of around, like they're friends.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I don't date them anymore either, but sometimes I still fuck a few of them. And that's a bad idea.
Oh, those
Because then
poor
they hang
broken
around more.
souls.
They still hang around even more.
Oh well, why do you think they would? I mean, mean, why would they be like, oh, bye, if you're like still like fucking around with them?
Well,
you're like,
I
hey,
haven't fucked either one of the two I have in mind since last year, but
it doesn't mean it's not going to happen.
I probably would one of them. Oh, it'll happen again if we're ever in the same place. It will.
There was the
8 years going. It's just what it is.
Yeah. So Priya, how long have you been single?
practically my whole life.
When was the last time you dated? You went on a date?
Okay, the last time I went on
laid?
Yeah, both. Those are two
Really?
separate questions.
They're very different questions.
Yeah, first.
last time I got laid was January 2015.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're kidding me.
No.
I would be dying.
Me too.
Luckily I have an amazing vibrator that does the job.
There's so much. I need more of that. I like the weight of a man.
I mean, yes, I do miss that. Don't get me wrong, but the pool is so slim.
It's true.
You're not lying.
So January 2015.
January of 2015. I also have to preface this by saying I've never had a serious relationship. No one has ever presented them as worthy of that endeavor, and
you're probably wise.
Yes.
You're probably wiser than the rest of us. Is probably what's really happened.
Oh, absolutely. It's taken me this long to learn that.
I mean, I've been called a shitty friend before by, when a friend came to me and said, I'm getting engaged, and I'm like, that's too soon, like.
I do that too. And
I'm like, I don't want to be a buzzkill,
what
but
are you supposed to say? So please tell me, what are you supposed to say when somebody's like, I'm getting married? Because apparently, why is not the correct
or don't do it is not the answer to give.
That's the answer I always come up with is, why would you do that?
Right, like why? And just no.
Yeah, just no.
Like
just don't do it.
Yeah.
Because when people ask me if I'm married, I say, oh no, I fixed that problem. Apparently, that's not the right answer either. But yeah, I don't know. I no longer believe in legal marriage. I think now that I understand the law and the way it changes your rights, I don't believe in it at all. Relationship is fine. Some people like that. That's great. But you don't want to own people, and you don't want to be owned.
Yeah, the whole property thing freaks me out.
Yeah.
And then I just see how much intense, emotional labor that is just never reciprocated. Like, don't get me wrong, my parents have been married for probably over 40 years. And I love my dad. But A, I will never trust a man. And B, I never want to get married. I saw the toll it took on my mother. They're together and they're happy, but just all the things that she had to sacrifice to be a supportive wife. I see all of that, and I know my dad appreciates it, but I don't think he'll ever have that eternal gratefulness that I do for all the shit that she's done and that she's put up with. You know what I mean? So much of that, and it's hard to extricate the labor from the, do I really like this person or am I just with them? Theirs was an arranged marriage, so that's how things are done. Yeah, it's different.
This is just what you're stuck with.
Right, yeah, this is what you're stuck with.
Make the best out of it.
Yeah, you have to make the best out of a bad situation, and I'm very grateful for my mom, but she's a saint. There would have been several times where I would have been I would have dumped my dad to the curb, dad's ass to the curb, it amazes me, and it makes me so furious that women are just throwing themselves on the grenade for just
trash
people who don't deserve them,
garbage men this, and I kind of like to just try. It's like trying on a pair of shoes.
Sure.
Just go have a meal, and I tend to make it where it fits into my schedule. I make men fit into my schedule. So
you should always do that.
Oh yeah, if it's convenient
for
me.
She always plans something, so where she has to leave.
I always plan. I've got to go somewhere else, so I'm not spending a whole fucking day with you if I don't like you.
Right.
We're not hanging out all night. I've got other plans already. I'll tell you if I like you. I'll tell you I lied, and we can keep hanging out.
Sure.
But I always create an out for myself.
Which I never thought to do. I think
that's genius.
I just don't date that much for I've gone on 2 dates from Tinder, but honestly, I knew both of those guys before before Tinder. I knew them in real life.
Yes.
One guy I ended up dating for months, and he's wonderful. We still like we're still friends and what like nothing bad happened. He's just moving away.
Yeah.
Like other than that, I think like it would have been great and wonderful, like because I actually liked him, you know.
Right.
The other guy, like, it was just I knew him a long time ago. Like we've known each other forever. We wanted to date. It was really fun. And yeah, sure, I had like the out like, oh, I can kind of like leave, but also like we'd known each other for so long, we just hung out and we're just friends. Like,
Yeah.
and it was fine, and it was a really fun night, and
Yeah.
like, you know, and we still talk like we're buddies, but like,
Yeah.
you know, nothing happened.
And I've made business contacts. I made
Oh, yeah.
contacts for my
Yes.
band.
Right.
I've made
Sure.
it's ended up kind of becoming
It's like a weird
a
social
network
media
thing.
Yeah.
It's like a really, really messed up. Like,
I mean, you
it's
can
like I
use
might
what
be
you
into,
got.
I don't know, or maybe
you can just do like photography for my band because I need a photographer.
Right.
Or like you can be my weed connect. Like
Yeah.
Actually, that is what Tinder got me more than it got me sex, was
more
sex
weed.
and free weed. That's what I got. And that's awesome.
I ironically lost my virginity to a frat boy drug dealer, and all I remember about it was such a crappy leg. And he did not give me free weed, which I was quite upset about.
okay, he at least owes you that.
I know,
Shut
right?
up,
I'm
man.
like, come on.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Wow. But yeah, you know, the whole attention seeking thing though, like women, I think are probably more guilty of this than men. Just like getting their validation, you know, that's how they need it, is from male attention.
Right, because that's what
And
we're conditioned.
I like attention
that's
from
where we're
everyone
supposed
all
to
the
get
time.
it.
I know, right? But like, I'll tell you where I can get it,
You know,
honey.
I will admit it. Like, you know, I mean, I played in a band forever. I was really shy when I was a kid, and like through high school, and even like most of college, I was really quiet, really shy.
I find that so hard to believe.
Right?
I've only known you after that.
I know. But you know, I mean, God, like when I lost my virginity, it was to the first guy I like seriously dated in college. I think I was 21 or something.
Yeah.
And
So
he
you
was
guys
a
were both
virgin
in
too.
college?
Oh
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
God, I was
How
like
old were you?
15.
I was 14.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
This
was
is the
like,
back of a truck.
I was
In a pickup.
In a
parked in
parking-
a church parking lot.
Me too! We're in a church parking lot too. That's so
I
funny.
feel like how many
In a
people
red
have lost
Chevy.
their virginity in Oklahoma in
in
a
a church
park.
parking lot. Well, there's
But I
one in
bet your
every
lane
fucking
was
corner,
great.
so.
It
Exactly.
wasn't bad, actually,
Yeah.
considering.
Yeah,
You're a
my experience
16-year-old
was
boy.
like very different from all of my friends because, you know, I like was so into this guy, and we ended up like dating for like 5 years, and you know, we lived together, we almost moved away, and we're still great friends. He has a family, they're, you know, but we were both virgins. Like, that doesn't happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, ever.
Oh,
you
I know this asshole wasn't a
Yeah.
virgin. He was just
Yeah.
a lazy lay.
People at that age, they don't know what the hell they're doing.
I don't know. I guess, like, you know, as much trouble as I've had dating or anything like that in my
Sorry.
life, way to go.
I thought the sound was off. I don't know.
I'm also like a really like a romantic, I guess, you know. And it's funny, I didn't actually realize this until the last time I was in LA. My younger brother and I, we were in Santa Monica, and we were just talking. We were like by the beach, and it's like nighttime, and we're just having like wine, and we're just sitting there just like talking about stuff. And he's married, and he is incredibly romantic to his wife. They've been married for like 4 or 5 years, and it is the sweetest thing. And I just realized, oh my God, we're a lot alike. And like,
Yeah.
you know, I have that kind of thing. I mean, even though like my marriage did not work out, and I'm not saying I want to get married anytime soon or ever. Like, if it never happens, that's fine.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I
the
hope that
romance.
that's okay. Yeah, I mean, I hope that
Yeah.
that happens for some people. I hope that there are good relationships that can withstand things that are, you know, where they can be supportive of each other and, you know, nurturing of each other or something. Like,
Yeah, I still have hope.
I
I mean,
mean-
I'm not totally tainted. I just am not looking for that
I mean,
on
there
Tinder.
was a long no.
Don't look for
no.
that on Tinder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For relationships.
All you have to do is put like, I want to get married, I want to have all these kids, and then like nobody will swipe on you.
My friend, we went to Felina's show on Friday night, and my friend got really drunk. And after we got back to her house, she let me take over her Tinder.
Oh, I
So
love
got
doing
to,
that.
I got to change her profile, and I got to make some matches for her. And so but her profile, because she's like, nobody ever sends me messages or matches with me. Well, her profile said something about looking to get to know. Spend some time
no.
get to know. I'm like,
No,
honey, they
honey.
think you're trying to marry
No.
them. That was the
Yeah.
first thing I did was delete that. And don't you know there was like messages
It's like-
just
Yeah.
everything. She had a date the very next night.
Nice. Yeah, no, thank goodness for you. Because, like, no, you cannot let your friends put no.
No, so I fixed it for her.
Good.
And I got rid of a couple pictures too. I'm like, oh no,
You're
you
like,
don't
not
want
that, not that
This
one.
makes you
Mm-mm.
look like you're in your 40s and have 6 kids. No. We're not telling them that. That's not what this is
No.
for.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what does everyone's dating profile say?
Okay. Here, let's-
Mine's not currently active.
That's a good idea.
I reactivated Tinder on Sunday because for like a brief moment I thought, it would be nice to have a guy that wants to spend time with me instead of just banging it out,
Yeah.
That lasted for about 3 hours, and that was all I could take of the messages. I'm like, no, obviously I don't want that because you guys are getting on my damn nerves.
I put some photos up. That
Let's see, here's
I have that on there.
Oh, I put my
Love it.
cash app in mine.
I mean,
Ooh,
that.
I need to do that.
Ooh.
I put that
I love
picture
it.
up there. I'll-
Yeah, I definitely put my cash app link in
So
there.
what all apps do you guys
I have Bumble and Tinder.
I've never
So do
done
I.
Bumble.
And
Yeah.
Why the hell
mine.
won't it let me think?
Here, I'll read mine while you're looking.
Okay.
Mine says mom/musician/lawyer/badass. An empath always striving for peace, not into organized religion. I heart bearded men. Please be kind, intelligent, and self-aware. Narcissists need not apply.
I like it.
Very nice.
I've done Tinder and I've done Seeking Arrangement. So
I
need to
don't know
remember
what
that one
Seeking
is.
Arrangements is.
It's like if you want to be a sugar.
website.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yes,
girl.
I haven't actually met any of them, but I've got 3 of them who keep texting me.
That's embarrassing.
Kelly,
We'll
read
see.
yours. Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Let her do hers.
Okay, mine says things I like: books, bourbon, music, art, movies, rain, stars, fall, crashing waves, running, museums, soccer, pets, kisses, daydreams, open windows, new friends. Things I love: my kid and Otis Redding. Who I like: funny, easygoing, smart, creative.
Wow, I want to date you.
I know.
I know, right?
But then, it's also kind of not fair. But, like, I have, a picture of, like, me playing guitar on here, and my Gretsch, like, my guitar in itself is worth, like, swiping right. Like, I get a
Right.
lot of people that swipe right, and they'll, like, if we match for whatever, they'll, like, because I have gold, so I can see who swipes on
That's
me.
what I had when I had it
Because
on.
I'm
Really?
like,
And that way
yeah,
I
because
only
I'm
had
like,
to deal with that
I
list.
just, like, yeah, that's it.
Oh, I see pictures of that.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on.
Yeah, that's what I
probably need
did.
to update
Because
some of
I
these.
didn't mean to get Tinder. I had ended that relationship last
within
April.
the last year.
And then there was a round of breakup sex somewhere in the middle of the
I
summer.
bet we get a
Yeah.
lot of the same matches.
And so
I
my
bet we
friend
do, too.
came
Yeah.
to visit
Because we've got.
a couple weeks after
Similar
that.
look.
She's like, okay, we got to find you someone new because I cannot have you going back to that.
Yeah.
I bet,
So
yeah.
after some tequila,
For sure.
she set up a Tinder for me, and that's what happened. So I've been through several rounds, and so I kept it on from then until I guess I turned it off maybe March-ish of this year. So
Yeah.
I went through several rounds of profiles. Eventually, it just kind of became like a frequently asked questions. So it says, I'm just looking for something to do. I don't trust profiles without photos. No golf. Text is better than calls. Yes, I have kids. No, you're not going to meet them. And Trump supporters move along. And I got so many hits off of that profile.
I
It
love
was
it.
incredible.
Yeah.
Nice.
So then, yeah,
Straight
at some
to
point, I just turned it off, and then I never turned it back on even.
I am
As they
amazed
went
I
away.
get anyone at all with my profile.
Okay, let's
Tell
hear
us
it.
what it
Let's
is.
hear it.
I want to know.
Yeah.
I want someone who will leave me alone 90% of the time.
I love it.
Thick thighs save lives, radical, political, and ambitious as fuck. Never married, no kids, no Trump supporters. I will chew you up and spit you out if that's your kink. I don't have time for your shit unless you pay me. And then my cash app.
I fucking love you. Oh
love
my
it.
god.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
And people still hit on that. And I'm just like,
I love
yeah,
it.
they
A
do.
lot of men like fucking powerful women.
Yeah.
They do. I get. I
Yeah.
mean, that's. They like that.
It's
Yeah.
either like there are men who like powerful women, and then there are the men who are very intimidated by that, and it's like hard for them to
right.
even talk to you. Even if I like go on a date with somebody,
Yeah.
and they're just like sit there like a deer in headlights, like they're scared
Yes.
of me, and I'm like, And I will talk to anyone, like, ever. I am, like I said, a people, I'm just like my dad. Like, we just are like chitter chatter people. Yeah. It's probably really annoying, but, yeah, but I'll be like, and I'm like, why is this so hard? Like, why do you look scared of me?
Right.
But I will actually say that out loud. Why are you so scared of me?
I've had lots of men tell me I'm intimidating, so I don't tell them anything. Like, nothing about my background. You don't even get
I feel like you would still be intimidating because you just have that presence.
I think I am a little bit. But yeah, I
you
don't
just
give
have
them
that, like, strong...
I won't even give them my last name until I see them 3 or 4 times. Because
What
I
if-
don't want them to Google me, because the second they Google me, it's over.
It's over.
It's not over.
My name's so unique. It's like real easy to find me.
Yeah.
Real easy to find me.
Just, like, Google
Well, for the
Felina.
longest time.
Yes, Oklahoma.
Right?
Felina
Yeah.
pops up.
Well,
Yes.
for the longest time, it was Tinder was pulling from my Facebook, and Facebook has
gotcha.
recently switched it. But for the longest time, it had my last name switched with my first, and my first name is misspelled on my private profile to keep people from finding me.
Nice tip.
And so
right there.
it just showed Wesley. So nobody knew what my name was. You can Google Wesley, and you're gonna get like every branch of Methodist church ever.
Yeah.
And,
Sure.
Well, like Friday night, I had kind of ghosted this dude who I'd been texting a little
oh,
bit.
that's right.
And I mean, like,
And he showed up.
like we had not, I hadn't talked to him in at least 2-3 weeks, and he would still send me messages. His last like 4 messages went unanswered, and
yeah.
I mean, this is, I have no shame in like I have high standards for myself right now. He told me he sells tires for a living. I was like, it's not good enough for me. Like, sorry, like it's just not. Like,
Yeah.
I need you to do more than sell tires for your life. Like, you're 40 something, okay?
I'm like, you're unemployed? Yes. No.
You're homeless? Great. I say that because I've had 2 of those.
I've had it. I forgot a few. Like, I'm like, you need to at least have a bachelor's degree. Like, I just need,
Something,
some sort or something equivalent, like some sort of equivalent ambition. Like, I need somebody who's ambitious.
Right.
And so I was like, well, that's enough to tell me that you're probably not. And but he nevertheless took it upon himself to look me up, figure out where my next gig was, and show up. So, and then he
creepy as fuck.
Yeah,
and
that's your
then
like
he
creepy
came up
side.
to me, and I didn't know who he was, and I was selling CDs, and I thought he wanted to buy a CD, and so he just kept like hanging around and giving me weird looks.
And you're like, what?
I'm like,
What
and he
is
was
the guy doing?
yeah, and he was like, we've been talking, and I was like, I'm David, remember?
Oh, God.
And I was like,
Yeah.
and I still was like, no, like what? Like, I know you from another show, like,
Right.
And
Like,
then,
who are you?
and he's like, not in this realm. And I was like,
Oh.
What does that mean?
What does
yeah.
that mean?
the online dating realm, like it's a different realm. And I was like,
I'm-
okay. And he
I'm
just
more
sat.
worried about this guy now.
He sat at the fucking bar waiting for me to come and talk to him.
Did you
and
sneak out?
Oh
Because
yeah, I
I would've-
totally fucking left. And then he texted me again that
Block
night
him.
and again the next day.
Block him.
But like your neediness is not a turn on.
Dude, get a clue. Like, I mean, ghosting.
I don't know. I love this guy already. Just
Like-
it's funny. Sorry, Felina. It's fine. David, you do you. Okay.
Clearly he's an eager
Texting
beaver.
her.
Stop telling.
Texting her.
Yeah. No.
He will never leave you.
Hello. I just don't get it. I'm like, I don't feel like I owe these men anything.
No, you don't
I
owe
don't
them
owe
shit.
them my fucking time. I don't owe them a response.
Nope.
I don't owe them anything.
Not a
I
goddamn
fucking
thing.
met you on goddamn internet.
Right.
And like, we've talked, we've exchanged. You just want to know what color panties I'm wearing. Like, we're not gonna talk for very long. I don't owe you an explanation. I don't need
Right.
to talk to you ever again. Like, go disappear.
Right.
Get a fucking clue. That, like, guys, if a lady stops texting you back that you don't even know, don't go hunt her down. It's creepy.
Right?
Like, don't do that, and
Yeah.
don't continue to text.
And don't keep
Yeah.
texting. I
Yeah,
mean, I've
just
talked
stop.
about that one guy who pulled my worst Tinder date, who ripped my hair out.
No.
What?
Yeah.
No.
It was horrible. It was awful. I talked to him for several weeks, and everything seemed fine. I looked him up. Everything seemed great. I knew where he worked. Went and I met him. We spent, I don't know, probably 4 hours talking, and that was great. Then when we went to have sex, things got weird. And he ended up ripping my hair out, taking the condom off without permission. It was the whole thing.
Oh,
No.
party
Yeah.
foul.
Whole thing, whole big thing, and finally, and of course, I've got trauma. So, normal people would just be like, "I need to leave," and I'm just like, "Okay, if I let him finish, then I can get the fuck out of here, because that's what my brain does, because I'm like, I don't want to escalate with the crazy person. So,
which is, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah.
And that's
like
things
a
that
fucked
women
up
have
thing
to
to
take
take
into
care of
Like,
yourself.
I have this,
you know.
I had a bald spot about that big on the top of my
God.
head where he ripped my hair out. Yeah, I was yelling at him. I'm like, fucking stop. What is your problem? He's
Rip my
ripping
hair out. I
Yeah.
swear to God, I will fucking kill you.
Right?
Like,
Yeah.
They're like, I
I
don't
was
have your
screaming at
balls
him.
in a case on my fireplace.
Do you know how much these highlights cost, bitch?
Yeah, so he ripped my hair out, and I'm like, you have to stop that. He's like, okay, I'll be gentle. Then he's like, here's what I want you to do. He wanted me to lay on my stomach, not move, no sound, no participation at all. And I'm like, dude, they make dolls just
for
in
this.
this position, just like this. Like, you don't need a person. you just need
wanted
to go get
you
one
to
of
like
those.
lay there, just like
Yes.
a corpse.
Yes, I know. That's why I was like, okay, I don't want to escalate with this guy, because he's obviously crazy as fuck, and I'm going to end up like, you know,
A skin suit.
Yeah,
That's
that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yes.
Buffalo Bill in the
That's
making.
exactly
Hello.
what I was thinking, you
Oh my
know?
God.
Puts the notion
So
on the
much
skin.
fun.
And so,
Oh
but
my God.
anyhow, the point I was getting to is he kept texting me. He texted, I tweeted about this, what was it? Hasn't been last month, I think?
Yeah.
And I mean, so this has been like 10 months or something since all of that, and I have not responded any time, and he's still, I blocked him from my phone several months ago. So I guess I hadn't been on Tinder, I hadn't been paying attention, but
Sure.
I just happened to be, it sends me an email when somebody messages, and I just happen to be, and I usually just delete them without looking, but I happen to be in my email box, so I saw the preview when it came in, and I saw his name, and I'm like, fucking hell, he's messaging me?
Why? Yeah.
I guess he finally blocked me or unmatched because he disappeared out of my Tinder
Thank
messages.
God.
Thank God. I'm like, it took you that
He
long
should come
to
with
get
a
the
goddamn
message?
warning label.
Yes, he should.
No, I kind of, I wish we had like Yelp for like dudes.
Or like
the
rate my
people-
professor,
or just-
rate my
But
lady,
it's
or
like,
something.
yeah, rate my
There used
anyone
to
I
be-
date, like,
there
you know,
used to
women
be
and
an
men.
app.
Oh, I would love to see what
There
people
used to
rate me,
be-
and like, she's
Yeah.
such a bitch. Like,
There used to be an
she's
app
super
that
liberal.
you could do that.
Really?
Yes, and then, but
Wasn't
people
it
were
like
trying to sue them.
because
Yeah, because they were saying it was defamation or whatever,
defamation
and
and
libel.
all this.
If you're a
stuff.
lousy lady, the whole world deserves to fucking
Everybody
know.
needs to
I
know.
really want to figure
I
out
tell
a
all my
creative
friends
way.
anyway, so-
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
it's true. I really want to come up with a creative way to humiliate my ex publicly.
Okay.
Like, if it's an app that's just about him, like, he can go ahead and sue me.
you can
That's
make a
fine.
whole website about him if you want.
Yeah, I mean, what can we do? You guys just brainstorm on this. I've thought about putting up a GoFundMe so I could buy a billboard. I mean,
That would be kind
What
of
is
amazing.
that billboard that's supposed to be so cheap right now? Those electronic billboards. that
Yeah,
sell those
right?
ads?
No, what if there was like a Google Doc where like women just like added like all of these like red flag males in there and
Yes,
then
like
fucking
all these-
circulate
oh my
it to the
god,
masses.
oh my god, that's a great idea. The sociopath /
Yeah.
narcissist Google
But, like,
Doc for
I
beware.
feel
This is
like,
what he
honestly,
did.
At this point, I mean, yes.
Like,
I
why doesn't
hope
that
there's
exist?
somebody like normal out there, but and I know that there are because they're just my friends. But
right.
Maybe
But,
we should examine that problem.
I know it's just whatever.
It's just
but
if you could put all of the narcissists on an island and they could just like compete
There
with
would
one
be
another
And take each other out.
or take each other out, there'd be no men left.
There would be
Yeah.
4 men left.
Yeah.
And they would all be
And then-
gay,
and
so
5
it would
women.
not help us.
Man.
Narcissistic women are a little more difficult to identify.
Yeah.
I mean, I've encountered them, but it was more
Sure.
difficult to spot them. Of course,
Yeah.
I'm clearly not the best judge of character, so.
Girl, that picture that you put on Tinder, come on, that is good.
I mean,
I'm still thinking about that.
nice.
I want to see who you've matched with.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have
Like
to
who
compare.
we
Obviously,
we need to compare.
We both have pictures of ourselves playing guitar, and we both are ethnic looking,
And
dark
fucking
headed,
awesome.
and fucking
You're
awesome
right.
ladies.
Do you
Like,
guys ever get weird messages about that?
oh yeah, let's talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
the
Too many
that's-
men
yeah.
have watched like too much Pocahontas porn or some damn thing.
Oh yeah.
Because I get that, I'm like, I've always liked Native women, and I'm like, I want you to go away now.
Yeah,
Because
that's
I'm not
not-
sure what that
that's
means,
not
but it
sexy.
sounds
Like,
creepy.
I-
I've been
know.
told that Mexican women, that their pussies feel different.
I had a white man who had
yeah.
only ever been with like really white, like really Aryan women before me, stop in the middle of sex to comment on how my labia looked different than white girls.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Oh
And I'm
my
like, I'm
God.
going to kick you in the face if you keep talking. Like,
Oh
I
my
need
god.
you to stop.
Oh my god.
Yes.
What do you get? What do the guys say to you?
Oh god.
Let's hear it. I want to hear it.
Oh, the Kama Sutra.
Oh,
comment.
Oh,
yeah.
Good lord. I
Oh
didn't even think
yeah,
about that.
we should definitely try something from a Kama Sutra. Bitch, I don't read that, and then you don't either. You're just full of shit.
There's
Okay,
an app
Priya,
for that,
pretend
too.
you don't. No. It's
on the third
over
shelf.
there.
But like,
Yeah.
yeah, but like, if I do it for myself and not for you.
Not for you.
Not for you.
But they just assume.
Yeah. But that's
like-
the key to get in, and I'm like, no, that is not the
Yeah.
key.
You know, I feel like more than me being like a, over half Native woman, I get more men who want to hang out with me, date me, anything because they want to meet my dad.
Oh
The
my
proximity thing.
That is
Because
a
my
risk
dad
of
is-
having such a famous
if you
father.
got, so if you, my dad is, kind of an Oklahoma famous, I mean, he's in the history books here. He's been like a prominent person. He's doing,
He's
all
one
these
of
things.
things.
They want to use you.
And
That sucks.
they want to,
They're just
Get
using you
to-
to
I
get
never
to
even thought
him.
about
and
that.
I'm just like,
That's
oh,
awful.
There's
it's
something
so
to be
gross. And I
said
don't
about that.
normally tell anyone,
Right.
and it's not because I'm ashamed of my family. Like, I mean, the complete opposite. I mean, I love my dad. Like, my dad and my mom both do really important work, and always have my entire life. I mean, but no.
Yeah.
No,
That's
no.
not what this is.
This is so weird. Like, no.
Yeah, no, that is really weird.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell do they want?
They
I mean,
want to
just
be
to meet
friends,
him, or
to get the connections,
I
to
don't
get better jobs, to get like
These are the
an
same dudes
interview.
that'll be like, you're intimidating, but
To
I want
be-
access to your
right.
social capital.
Yeah.
Fuck
I'm like,
you.
if that's what you want, like, don't ask me on a date.
Right.
Just like come to me and say, hey, I'd really like to meet your father, your
Right.
mother, or like,
And here's why,
like,
and I've
here's
got,
why,
yeah.
like, and 100%, I will always be like, absolutely, like,
Like if somebody had a
Sure.
like genuine
Right.
cause or
Genuine
thing that they wanted
something.
to,
yeah,
Work
pick their
on,
brain
yeah.
about something or whatever,
you're happy to make that connection when people are just
For sure.
upfront about it.
Yes, but if they're just like, hey, let's go on a date, and they're like, oh, so your dad, I'm like, I never told you who my dad was, but I mean,
Obviously, you
it's
figured it out.
it's pretty obvious. So, I'm like,
That's shitty.
Man,
That's terrible. I mean, like, they couldn't just
Yeah.
show up at an event and introduce themselves to him. He will talk to anybody.
hell yeah, he will. I mean, we are the same. I really
stops
didn't
and
realize this until like not that long ago.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Really?
I always thought like, oh, I'm so much like my mother. She is a tribal attorney, and she has
I
done
used to
so
work with
many
her.
things. Oh, that's amazing. She's written books. She's so great, and she is like retired, but not really. Like
Right.
she's
She
been
can't
working.
not do
No,
something.
absolutely not. And thank goodness, but like she is so knowledgeable, and she's just such a great role model for anyone. But she definitely has been for me. And I just always thought like, I'm so much like my mother.
No.
My mom is a quiet woman. She is crazy brilliant, but she is very soft-spoken. She is shy. She is not great in social situations. That is the opposite of me. I am
on the other hand.
definitely like my dad, who is like loud, like look at me,
Very
and
extroverted.
yeah, very like, hey, what's up? Like strangers,
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know you. Hey, bus driver, we're best friends now.
Yes.
Like,
He's not
anybody.
shy at all.
Yeah, no.
I met him through church.
Okay,
And
yeah,
so
yeah.
I've known him for a few years,
Mhm.
and then I guess it was last year when I was working with your mom. I went to the Sovereignty Symposium
Mhm.
because he was on a panel.
He didn't even know he was going to be on that panel.
Oh,
And
no.
he was late.
He was late.
That's because he didn't.
I
He was
didn't
like,
know
oh, I just
that.
thought I was just going. I didn't know I was
That's
on the
funny.
panel.
So I'm super anxious in crowds, so I always
Mhm.
sit in the back and where I can see the door and all of this. So I sit here in the back corner.
Mhm.
He comes in the room and he goes and he sits down and he looks at me and he just points.
Oh, he'll tell you.
Yeah, he did.
He
He
will
just
make-
pointed at me and pointed to an open seat in the front row. He's like, "Get up here." I was like, "Yes, sir." I sat there and I tweeted because I usually live tweet a lot of those events.
Oh,
I'm
I
like,
love it, yeah.
So apparently my conditioning to listen to my elders is much stronger than my anxiety.
Yeah.
When he said move, I moved.
Yeah. Which is funny because, he's very much like that with everybody. But then when it comes to me and one of my sisters, we can be like, Dad, you move. Or like, you do something, and he's like, okay. He doesn't put up a fight. He's just like, because my sister is the same way. Like, we're a lot alike as well. He's just like, well, all right. I'm gonna do what they
Do what
say
the girls
because,
say.
There's no point in fighting this.
there's no point.
And that's kind of great though that your dad does that. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
like,
Well, Native women, like in our culture, it's very much a matriarchal society.
Right.
Like the women in our cultures, that's who we all listen to. I mean, I was brought up like we listen to our grandmothers and our elders, and even if they're not like blood related, they're in your tribe or your clan or like whatever, they say something.
You do it.
You do
Yeah,
it.
You're still your mother,
Yeah.
your moms, and your grandmas.
well, and in that aspect, I mean, that's got to make it. Well, maybe.
And dating wise,
Yeah.
that makes
hard.
that makes it a lot different.
Yeah,
because-
well, I'm a bossy bitch. I don't know where it came from. I just am. Like, I mean,
You are Felina.
I don't know where it came from. It's just kind of inherently like.
I love that about you. You've always been that way.
I know. I mean, before I even knew myself very well, I was always this way. I was bossy.
You're like the same. You're the same.
Yeah, but with men, I mean, it's like I want somebody who will not be pushed around, but will still do what I say. Like
you want them firm, but not too firm.
like I need you to do what I
Still
say.
compliant.
You need the sleep number of men.
Yes.
I like that.
Like
Yeah.
I need you to do what I say, but when I'm being unreasonable and I'm unaware, you need to be strong enough to fucking stand up to me.
Right.
Yeah, I have that problem.
I don't
You
have-
need a wife. You don't need a man.
Fuck.
Yeah, I know, right?
I know
We
my
should just get married.
I know. Well, my ex's other ex did just marry a woman, and she keeps telling me, she's like, Plina.
Just do it.
I'm like,
I
I
keep saying
I'm
that.
like-
If I ever got married
I'm like,
again, it would
I
have to
wish.
be to a woman.
I
But
know.
she's gonna have to be okay with me going out and having sex with
Yeah.
men.
I know, right? Yeah.
I'm that
honestly,
woman. I mean, I'll
seriously,
share
I'm like,
him
I
with her
wish
if she's okay. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm like, I wish I were like attracted to women in that way. I love women so much. Women are just a huge part of my life,
Oh,
you know?
they're
Same here.
beautiful creatures.
And
I
I'm
love
like,
you all.
yeah.
Like the confidence, and
Yeah.
the bond.
I mean, like the place that I work, like I don't. Yeah, it's a friend's business, and I just honestly, I just fill in sometimes. But I'm always like, yeah, I'll do it whenever because I love working with those women. There's like a camaraderie there.
I
There's
love
like
my ladies.
there's
Yeah.
it's like a family.
Yeah.
You know?
I just
It's
don't
like
love my ladies.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also with what I do, like it's it helps ladies feel better about themselves.
Yeah.
Whatever. So, and I love that. I love
I work
that,
with
like,
a bunch of old white
happiness.
men.
Oh, God.
I had a friend just post earlier. She was like, if your ex-girlfriend cut her hair after you guys broke up, y'all are never getting back together. Like, that's the done deal.
Oh yeah. In Native culture, that it's like there's
That's
like
the
something
warning.
big happened.
I have grieved this. You're gone.
I breathe this, you're gone.
That's funny. I've done that
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah,
Now that I
this
think
is like
about
the
it.
first time I haven't done something drastic. My hair's so damn long and pretty right now. I'm not fucking cutting it.
Don't do that. Your hair's too pretty.
I just
I
prefer
just
to
dye
cut
my
him.
fancy colors.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't do patriarchal men anymore, which just leads me to believe that I will never have another man in my house, which is fine. I like a man in my life. Not
Man,
in my house.
I have my son, and he is the most amazing little man. Hopefully the
How
girls.
old?
He's 9. He's
Okay.
almost 10.
Yeah, him and Sophie are both the
He's,
same age.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
the same. Yeah. And he is so amazing and so great, and we're so much alike, but in a way that we get along really well. We don't clash. We never fight. We go on adventures. Like, I think about this all the time. Like, when he gets older, he will never treat a woman like, or like a girlfriend, or like, but he's also really compassionate. He's very honest.
Yeah.
But if it's something, like they all have crushes. Everybody has a crush on Jack at school. He is a very, very, very pretty child. And he's very popular too. But but he's really sweet about it. Like if, a little girl says, she has a big crush on him or something, he'll be like, I really like being friends with you. He actually told this little girl, but you're not my type, and I wish that you were, because we get along so well.
Oh my gosh.
And he was like really sweet about it.
I'm terrible.
And he was like so sweet about it.
We
and
need
like
him
we're
to
still
just
great
block
friends.
them so they
We
can't
need
find
him to teach the grown men of the world how to behave.
I know.
So when was your last date, your last Tinder date? You said you're just a voyeur?
August 20. Was it last year?
Let's change that. Get your Tinder out right now. Let's make some
Let's
matches.
let us.
Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
do this.
Yes.
I can't see who matched me though because I don't
It
have my
doesn't.
Bumble.
It doesn't matter.
That's okay.
Which one do you want, Bumble or Tinder?
Tinder.
Let's do Tinder. It's
Yeah, because
it's
with
funnier.
Bumble we would have to message people
No.
because the women have to message
but,
first.
I mean.
So, I mean,
we
if you
could
want
do
to,
that as well.
we're gonna have to.
We
I'm
could
just
do that
saying, that's
either
what we'll
way.
have to do.
Yeah.
All right, have at it.
Yes.
Oh God, actually, we should all do this together. I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say absolutely yes. I'm gonna say no.
I'm gonna
I'm gonna say
If I see
I'm
somebody
gonna
on
say
here,
no.
Look how fast we can decide your fate, men.
No.
Mm-hmm.
God, it's funny. A lot of these guys are like, I've seen them on mine.
Oh, yeah, I remember that guy.
I really
I've
just
already
want to
vetted this
swipe.
guy, no
I really
way.
want to swipe on this guy just because it's funny.
Yeah. No.
Anytime
Oh hell no.
I see the oil
Something's
and
wrong
gas.
in that bear.
Let's say yes.
Maybe that guy I had matched with before. The
Then
one
yes.
you stabbed me with.
Nuh-uh, you look scary. You're cute.
Yeah.
You're cute. Oh,
That's
that's
baby face.
that's-
I'm not
No.
convinced he's 32.
No. Oh hell no! You know those guys that are on there that are like, you're clearly like over 50, and
Right.
you say that you're 32.
I went out with a guy once that it said he was 30, and he was like, he could not have been more than 23.
Let's talk
Okay,
about
I'll let
It was terrible.
Let's
I'm
talk
like,
about
"You could be your mother.
misrepresentation.
Go home.
You each take a turn, and we'll
Oh,
see
yeah.
what fruitful labor.
Misrepresentation.
Yes. Let me tell you a story.
Oh God.
Let me tell you a story about a Tinder date that I went on.
Ooh.
This was the first Tinder date I went on after
This guy's
Ryan
scary.
and I broke up.
We're gonna say no to him.
And
Just kidding, I can match.
yeah, you can swipe while I tell the story. I'll give you mine. You can swipe mine.
I know, we all need to trade.
So the first date I went on, first
You
Tinder
didn't
date I went
eat
on,
this guy alive.
he had put on his profile pictures of himself from like 50 pounds ago.
Do you know him?
And yes, I do.
I
Just
swiped
swipe
left.
left. Swipe left.
Okay,
He's a
so
comedian. I'm like, she's gotta know
wait,
it.
This is yours.
Yeah, you can swipe for me.
Okay.
But yeah, he was like
This face
50
kinda
pounds
cute.
ago in all his photos. I show up, he's drunk. He has brought a friend. He is commenting on my boobs immediately.
Oh my god.
Yeah. He was like
Ooh, I
trying
want
to
this
sit
guy.
next to me, like real close and like touch me. And his friend was the only
He's
one
probably
talking.
a moron, but
By the end of the night, I was only there for like 20 minutes because his friend spilled a drink down the front of my shirt
Oh
and
my
then the
God.
glass broke on the ground. After he was shaking the table because he was pretending to fuck it.
No.
So I left.
Oh my god.
This is when you go like live on your Instagram story.
Yeah,
Like,
right?
we need to do that.
I have so many
Oh,
terrible
yeah,
date
for sure.
stories. So many. I find them funny. Like, I go and I don't care because I just want the
Right.
story from it.
Right.
Yeah.
I haven't been on that many Tinder dates. But the other day, I was saying I turned my Tinder back on for like 3 hours on Sunday. Well, 20 minutes in, this guy that I met on Tinder, like the first night that Joy made my Tinder profile, I matched with him and he started messaging me. And then he got my phone number and all this. We talked for months and never, we would conveniently not be able to meet, right? Which turns out he was seeing someone.
Yeah.
But we started
Convenience.
Yeah, I didn't find that out until later.
Yeah, when they're like, hey, can you message me on WhatsApp? I'm like, why?
Well,
Why?
he just texted me.
Why can't we just text?
Right.
But then he started, because he all of a
Tried
sudden
that.
found me on Snapchat, and I'm like, no grown-ass man uses Snapchat unless they hide you from some girl.
Mm-hmm.
Or
But
they're
okay,
sending
whatever.
mass nudes to people.
Yeah, he does that. He
I'm
does
dating
that
all
because
these
he'll send me
people
pictures that I'm like,
Or like
you didn't just take a shower because I know you're scheduled. That was like 6 hours ago. So you took this picture for someone else.
Yeah, right?
Right.
I'm getting your recycled nudes.
Right? And I'm like, really? I already know what you look like. I don't need the pictures.
Right.
So we didn't meet until like, I don't know, the spring or something. And I mean, we've only seen each other a few times, and that's it. So 20 minutes into this having Tinder back on, he sees me. And I start getting messages.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, no, he's mad. I'm like, you don't get to be mad at me. The only reason you can see me on Tinder is because you're on Tinder.
Oh, nice.
We got
Ooh,
Priya a match, and he is
Ew.
cute.
Message him right
Let's
now.
send him a message.
I've already sent 2 messages for you.
Oh, fuck.
You can contact the podcast at brokebrokenpodcast@gmail.com. The Broken Podcast can be found on Twitter @BrokeBrokenShow, on Instagram and Facebook @BrokeBrokenPodcast.